Meerkat, a living fortress in the blazing Kalahari. The Kalahari stretches endlessly to the horizon, where red sand burns beneath the sun and dry winds strip every blade of grass of moisture. Yet in the midst of this harsh land, life still emerges, resilient and strikingly alive. Amid that sea of burning sand, a small army stands upright, eyes fixed on the distance like unyielding guardians. This is the world of the Meerkat, tiny warriors challenging the desert. Their small heads, marked by dark rings around the eyes like a mask of war, allow them to stare directly into the sun without being blinded. In this unforgiving land, those eyes are weapons of survival, always wide open to guard life itself. Their long, agile bodies and curved claws, sharp as blades, dig deep into the earth, creating safe underground labyrinths. Beneath the burning desert, these networks become solid fortresses that protect the entire community. They often stand on their hind legs, bodies held upright, scanning all directions like sentinels in the heart of the desert. But suddenly, the silence shatters. Two individuals rush at each other, claws slicing the air, sharp hisses tearing through the wind. The clash erupts in a flash, then fades, leaving behind a cloud of drifting sand. When they move across the parched plains, their tails rise straight into the air. This is the moment when staying together matters most, turning their tails into living markers that keep the group from losing its way in the vast Kalahari grasslands. Suddenly, a long, slithering figure moves forward. The king cobra, a sworn enemy of many. The colony does not flee. They gather together, stand their ground. Fur bristling as hoarse growls echo through the air. The battle begins. The snake strikes first, but every counterbite and every act of harassment makes death itself hesitate. The invader is forced to retreat and disappears into the sand. Within the swirl of chaos, a truth slowly becomes clear. Power is not measured by fangs, but by unity. When hearts stand side by side, that strength reaches far beyond the instinct to survive. At dawn, light spreads across the warm sand. One individual climbs higher and stands upright, eyes sweeping the horizon. This is the sentinel, the one who carries its own life on its shoulders so the colony behind can live safely in the rhythm of everyday life. Food is a ruthless test. From tiny insects and quick, elusive lizards to dry, stubborn roots, every meal is a battle. Here there is no place for the slow or the careless. But the desert never stops testing life. When one enemy is gone, another appears. And this time, the shape on the horizon belongs to the jackal. The jackal charges in, fast as a violent gust of wind, but it ends in bitterness. A predator brought down by the strength and the cunning of a small band of meerkats. The meerkats witness it all, and they understand that every day is a battlefield, where every creature can be both hunter and prey. When danger fades, the small colony gathers again. They press close to one another, sharing warmth like a shield against the cold desert. In that bond, collective strength becomes their greatest weapon. Not long after, the meerkat pups utter their first faint sounds, a quiet declaration that life has endured in the harsh desert. Life here is always fragile. One single moment of inattention, and death strikes without warning. Yet it is this very fragility that turns every moment into a burning flame, a flame that keeps the meerkat alive and enduring amid relentless hardship. Meerkats are not merely small animals of Africa. They are proof that intelligence, courage, and teamwork can rise above the jaws of death and challenge every limit that nature dares to impose. Cheetah, the predator that pushes the limits of speed. The East African savanna unfolds beneath the rising sun, where the Serengeti and Masai Mara stretch out like endless seas of grass. Herds of antelope move like waves, while lions and hyenas lie in wait. Yet hidden within this stillness is another creature, born to shatter every speed record this land has ever witnessed. The cheetah is a creature crafted by nature with one singular purpose: to reach maximum speed. Every stride is a perfect blend of power and absolute precision, It needs no roar, no display of dominance, relying solely on speed to determine its own fate across the vast savanna. In a land where every second can decide life or death, the cheetah becomes a symbol of the power of time. Just a few heartbeats can spark a chase that makes even the grass tremble. On the savanna, speed is not just an advantage, it is the only path to survival. The savanna allows no mistakes, as every step carries countless dangers. Here, life is constantly tested by split-second choices. For the cheetah, every movement is significant. It does not run to win, but to prove that it still belongs in this harsh land. The cheetah's body is perfectly engineered for speed. Its spine acts like a spring, making every leap more powerful. As it lunges forward, its muscles coordinate seamlessly, producing astonishingly long strides. From head to tail, its structure is a testament to evolution. The cheetah's long tail functions like a rudder, helping it maintain balance during sudden changes of direction. At a critical moment, a slight tilt allows the tail to adjust the center of gravity and reduce inertia. This enables it to sustain deadly speeds while avoiding slips that could cause injury. The cheetah's eyes are sharp and piercing, marked by two black streaks running down its face. These stripes reduce glare and enhance focus when observing prey on the bright grasslands. Thanks to this remarkable visual precision, the cheetah can lock onto a target from great distances and make split-second decisions. Thompson's gazelles stand scattered across the grasslands, their ears constantly swiveling to catch any sound. A single noise can send the entire herd erupting into a cascading wave of movement. These delicate creatures understand that even a moment of inattention could make them the target of the savanna's fastest predators. The cheetah lowers its body, creeping toward the herd of gazelles with steps so light they are nearly imperceptible. Every movement is calculated with precision. Its eyes are locked onto a young individual that has fallen behind. The moment to strike must be perfectly timed to exploit the only advantage it possesses. When the moment arrives, the air seems torn apart by a powerful burst. The cheetah accelerates so rapidly that the ground barely has time to throw up dust behind it. Its speed makes the movement almost impossible to track with the naked eye. All of this happens in a matter of seconds, creating a moment where the entire savanna seems to hold its breath. The young gazelle dashes in desperation, constantly changing direction in a bid to survive. The cheetah stays locked onto its every move, keeping just the right distance to strike. The chase becomes a test of reflex versus speed. A single hesitation, and all of the cheetah's advantages vanish instantly. Even after bringing down its prey, the cheetah's body must still battle its own limits. Its heart pounds dangerously, its hot breath escaping in harsh gasps. It is forced to stop and sit, panting heavily to cool down before exhaustion sets in. On the savannah, even victory can expose it to new risks. As the cheetah sits panting beside its prey, the distant sky begins to shift. Dark circles appear against the pale blue, spinning gently as if the savannah is whispering a familiar signal. Vultures sense the exhaustion faster than any predator. They swoop down with each gust of wind, carrying the premonition that a new opportunity is unfolding across the scorching ground. The vultures land at a safe distance from the cheetah, their dark eyes tracking every movement. They do not rush. The advantage of the vultures lies not in speed, but in patience. They wait until the predator catches its breath and moves on, then approach, turning the leftovers of the feast into sustenance for the entire flock. On the savannah, their role is to ensure the ground never sinks into decay. Once the vultures have finished their part and the sky returns to calm, the savannah shifts to a different rhythm. Where predators just tested the limits of survival, elsewhere life is quietly nurtured. Amid the vast sea of grass, a mother bends to lick the soft fur of her young, opening the next chapter in the story of continuity. The period of raising young is even more brutal than hunting. A mother cheetah must hide her cubs in thick bushes for weeks at a time. Every small movement of the litter can catch the eyes of other predators, such as leopards or lions. The cubs are constantly under threat, and the responsibility of protection falls solely on the lone mother. But the savannah never stands still for long. As mother and cub search for shelter among the tall grass, a golden shadow silently separates from a lion pride. In that brief moment, the natural order asserts itself. The weak cub cannot blend into the grass, and life here quietly comes to an end, as it has countless times before. On the savannah, life and loss are always intertwined in silence. The remaining cubs begin to practice running while their legs are still unsteady. Every slip or stumble becomes a lesson the savannah forces them to remember. They chase each other through the grass, not just for play, but to hone the skills that will determine their survival. In a land where loss can come at any moment, only the swiftest individuals secure the chance to carry on. The mortality rate of cheetah cubs is extremely high. Their mother must hunt, protect them, keep moving, and avoid every threat. A single moment of inattention can wipe out the entire litter. The life of each tiny individual depends on the relentless efforts of the mother, a silent warrior amid the vast grasslands. One day, a young impala strays from the herd for just a few careless seconds. That moment is enough to awaken the cheetah's instinct. No roar, no warning signal, only sharp eyes cutting across the sea of grass. The decision is made in silence, yet it carries the weight of an entire survival journey. The chase begins as both surge forward. The cheetah accelerates like a streak of light, while the impala constantly changes direction, seeking a chance to survive. Every movement is a battle between reflex and precision. In these fleeting moments, time becomes the measure of survival across the vast expanse of the savanna. One day, a young impala strays from the herd for just a few careless seconds. That moment is enough to awaken the cheetah's instinct. There is no roar, no warning signal, only sharp eyes cutting across the sea of grass. The decision is made in silence, yet it carries the weight of an entire survival journey. Cheetahs play an important role in controlling the population of small antelopes, particularly those that are sick or weak. By removing them, cheetahs help maintain the overall health of the herd. This, in turn, allows the savanna to preserve its natural balance, enabling species to coexist in a tightly interconnected system. More than a symbol of speed, the cheetah is a key link connecting the energy layers of the savanna. Their presence reflects the overall health of the ecosystem. A savanna with cheetahs is a savanna that maintains its natural rhythm, where every living creature contributes to the grand symphony of life. Leopard, the soul of the Amazon rainforest. Dawn ignites the Amazon. Dew glistens on the leaves as it slowly drips away. The great river surges forward, and the forest murmurs like a hidden battlefield. Within this vast scene, the jaguar rises, the embodiment of power and fear in the green heart of the rainforest. It moves without making a sound, as if the jungle itself has learned to fall silent in respect of its presence. Every step is an invisible declaration. Wherever it walks, that land belongs to it. It does not race like a cheetah, nor does it rely on a pride like a lion. The jaguar walks alone. Within the dense forest shadows, solitude becomes its armor, turning it into an invisible phantom. Muscles coil tightly beneath the dark rosette coat. Broad shoulders lock like steel hinges. Amber eyes pierce the humid veil. Every fiber tells the same story. Power reserved for a single decisive strike. Its bite is the forest's nightmare. The crushing force shatters turtle shells and pierces the skull of a caiman. It does not need a long chase. Close the distance, lock the jaws, cut the power of its prey in a single motion. The Amazon rainforest is a maze of scents. The jaguar reads that maze with its whiskers and tongue. It marks its territory with scent, scars tree trunks to send its message. Silent yet never ambiguous. Water is its ally. Unlike most big cats, the jaguar embraces the silt-heavy rivers. It slips half-submerged, ears low to the surface, eyes sharpened like arrows. The prey hears nothing. It can only accept its fate. Each individual is a painting of its own. The rosette patterns on the coat differ like fingerprints. And so, the rainforest does not nurture just a species. It nurtures thousands of unique beings, each one impossible to repeat. The jaguar does not roar like a lion. Its voice is low and rough, short and scraping, like a blade dragged across damp wood. The sound feels like a quiet warning. Those who know how to listen will not be foolish enough to take another step. Its territory is drawn by rivers, ancient tree roots, and scent on wet stone. It patrols like a king without a throne. From time to time, it stops and lifts its head, inhaling deeply. No disturbance escapes its notice. Night descends over the Amazon, heavy like a vast curtain draped across the ancient forest. Within nature's symphony, the chorus of insects rises, weaving an invisible drumbeat that drives the rhythm of survival for all living things. The jaguar glides silently along the banks of the Amazon River. Its eyes blaze as they pierce the still surface of the water. In an instant, it plunges like a living spear, a precise strike ending the unlucky fish in a heartbeat. Dawn breaks over the Amazon, the first light gilding the river's rippling surface. Traces of the night's hunt still linger, and within this vivid moment of renewal, The jaguar continues its endless journey of survival. The jaguar is a master hunter, but it also knows fear. When faced with a massive wild buffalo, it does not hesitate to retreat, scrambling up a tree to seek safety. At times, two jaguars meet on a narrow trail. Shoulders rise, tails lash in measured rhythm. A dry hiss scrapes the air like stone against stone. Most encounters end in a controlled retreat. But when they commit, the rainforest gains another color. Then the rain comes down in heavy sheets. Thunder rips across the sky. Wind lashes the canopy apart, forcing even the lord of the ancient forest to retreat into silence. The rainforest needs regulators like it. The jaguar keeps prey populations from exploding. It removes the sick and the slow. Balance is sometimes written with claws. As dusk settles, the Amazon exhales after a surge of life and death. The ruler does not prove strength with words, but through silence, cold resolve, and finality in every hunt. The jaguar is the soul of the rainforest, nature's answer to the art of perfect assassination. There is no noise, no display of power, just a single precise strike, and the forest settles back into silence. To keep the forest is to keep those footprints. To keep the rivers is to keep those amber eyes. As long as the spotted shadow still hides among the leaves, the soul of the Amazon will continue to breathe evenly. Kangaroo, a leap that reverberates across the Australian outback. Amid Australia's arid grasslands and dense scrub, one creature has risen to become a global symbol. A tireless jumper, carrying both raw power and a captivating wild beauty. This is the kangaroo. The kangaroo is the largest marsupial in the world, equipped with powerful hind legs and a long, muscular tail that acts as a counterbalance, allowing it to maintain remarkable stability. They can reach nearly 2 meters in height and weigh over 90 kilograms, making each bound feel like a powerful surge through space. Unlike any other mammal, kangaroos move by hopping. With a single leap, they can cover more than 9 meters, reaching speeds of up to 60 kilometers per hour, turning the open grasslands into a stage for power and agility. Its thick, powerful tail functions like a third leg, providing support and enabling the kangaroo to deliver devastating kicks when threatened. Kangaroos typically live in groups, known as mobs, which can range from a few dozen to several hundred individuals. Within the group, the dominant male defends the territory and competes for mating rights with the strongest females. At times, adult males challenge one another in unique boxing contests. Bracing themselves upright on their tails, they grapple with their forelimbs and unleash powerful kicks, battling for dominance. The fight ends only when one retreats, leaving the victor standing tall as the reigning ruler. The kangaroo's ability to conserve water is truly astonishing. They can endure many days without drinking, drawing moisture solely from dry vegetation, a perfect adaptation to an unforgiving landscape. One of the most fascinating and remarkable aspects of the kangaroo is how it raises its young. The female has a pouch at the front of her abdomen, where the joey is nurtured during the first months of life. At birth, a kangaroo joey is just over 2 centimeters long, hairless and blind. It must crawl on its own into the mother's pouch, find a milk-rich teat, and grow gradually under the complete protection of that warm shelter. Inside the pouch, the joey spends many months gradually growing fur, opening its eyes, and learning to hop. When it grows large enough, it begins to peek outside, then gradually explores the world, before leaving the pouch entirely to become independent. But nature is never defined by peace alone. Across the silent plains, danger is always close at hand. A pack of native dingoes, their coats glowing golden, spots a group of kangaroos. Footsteps thunder across the ground as the circle tightens. The kangaroo tries to leap away, each bound coming in rapid succession, but the distance keeps closing, and desperation creeps into every breath. A precise strike. The kangaroo collapses amid a cloud of dust. The pack of wild dogs feeds on its hard-won prize. Yet on the grasslands, the lesson of survival remains unchanged. Life is an unending struggle. The kangaroo is not only a symbol of resilience, it is living proof of extraordinary adaptability. In a land as unforgiving as Australia, it survives, thrives, and stands as a source of national pride.